Okay, very good afternoon. Today we will discuss about body segmentation of insect or insect body segmentation. Body segmentation of insect or insect body segmentation. So you can see these pictures. So this is the insect body. So this insect body, so which was divided into three regions or three tagma or three regions or three tagma or three parts. Those are, you can see here, head region or head tagma or head part. So thorax region or thorax tagma. So like that only abdomen region or abdomen tagma. So these grouping of these three tagma we want to call as a tagmosis. Grouping of these three regions or grouping of these three tagma we want to call as tagmosis. So in case of primitive arthropods, so these insect body, so which is divided into a series of segments. So we want to call as somites or metamers. So in case of primitive arthropods, so these segments we want to call as somites or metamers. So in case of olden days, so somites means segments. Metamers, somites or segments, whatever it may be, same. So at the time of evolution, so these somites or metamers, they can unite to form a body of existing arthropods. So nowadays we want to call as segments. So within these head region, so again six segments is there. Within these head region, so again six segments is there. So like that only in case of these thorax region, so three segments is there. So like that only these abdomen, 7 to 11 segments is there. So segment is nothing but somites or metamers. So in case of primitive arthropods regions. So nowadays we want to call as a segment, but in case of olden days we want to call as somites or metamers. So next, in case of embryonic stage, so embryonic stage is different, adult stage is different. So the type of arrangement of these body segments, so in embryonic region we want to call as primary segmentation. So primary segmentation, it will take place in the embryo only. So embryo means egg region. So in case of egg, embryo is there, embryo woke. So at that time, primary segmentation is there. So after emergence of nymphs or young ones, so next secondary segmentation is there. So primary segmentation, it will take place in the embryo region. Secondary segmentation, it will take place in the adult region. So you can remember these 2 points. So you can see these matter. So we are this arthropods body, insect body, which is divided into series of segments. So those we want to call as somites. So in case of ICR examinations, sometimes they will ask somites, sometimes they will ask metamers, sometimes they will ask segments. So don't confuse with these three terminology. So the type of arrangement, so in the embryonic stage, we want to call as a primary segmentation. If it is takes place in adult insects, we want to call as secondary segmentation. So next, insect body. So three regions are three tagma or tagmata, whatever it may be. So don't confuse with these two terminology. Region is nothing but tagmata. So grouping of these three regions, we want to call as a tagmosis or tagmata. Individually, we want to call as a tagma. But uniting of these three head, thorax, abdomen, we want to call as tagmosis. So first we will discuss about insect head. So insect body, which is divided into three regions or three tagma. So those head, thorax, abdomen. First we will discuss about insect head. So you can see these pictures. So these are the insect head. So insect head. So this is the insect head. So insect head, it is a hard-like structure. So insect head, it is hard and highly sclerotized capsules. So you can imagine our body. So even our body, head region, skull region, it is highly sclerotized capsule. So like that only insect body. So three parts is their head, thorax, abdomen. So among these three parts, head region is highly sclerotized capsule. So because brain region is there, because brain region, if it is damage to this head, then insect will die. If it is any damage to leg or thorax, or abdomen region. So insect will survive. So head, it will play a major role. So that's why it is highly sclerotized capsule. So highly sclerotized compact structure. And it is the anterior part of the insect body. So three parts is there. It is the anterior part or first tagma or anterior part. And sclerotized capsule is also there. Sclerotized capsule. And within this head, so you can see here, the mouth parts is there. Mouth parts. In this head only mouth parts is there. Antenna is there. Eyes is there. Eyes, antenna, and mouth parts. So two types of eyes is there. Compound eyes, simple eyes. Compound eyes and simple eyes. So different types of antenna. It will come into the head regions only. So sometimes in case of their examinations, they are very simple. So head and it will come under which region or which tagma. So head region, thorax region, abdomen region. So head region. So that's why you can remember in case of head regions what it will be there. So what are those? Antenna is there, eyes is there, and mouth parts is there. So sometimes they will ask very simple bits. So at that time you will confuse and you will put wrong answer. So don't confuse with the simple terminology. So you can see here, so the head is very hard and highly sclerotized complex structure. Highly sclerotized. So it is foremost part in case of insect body. Foremost means anterior part of the insect body. So anterior are first tagma also. First tagma only. Second tagma thorax. Third tagma abdomen is there. So most important bit in case of ICR examinations. Total number of segments in head capsule. So 6 segments. So I think in 2018 they asked this bit. Total number of segments in insect head is 6 segments is there. So the head, so in between the head and thorax region, so the neck region is there. So you can imagine our body. So first head is there, next followed by neck is there. So neck is, we can also call as cervix. Neck we can also call as cervix. And followed by thorax region is there. So like that only you can imagine our body. So the head capsule, which is highly sclerotized, and sclerotized means hard-like structures, hard plates. So the head capsule, so which is excluding the appendages. Excluding the appendages means mouth parts, it is also appendage. Antenna, it is also appendage. Appendage means external structures. External structures. So which is visible to our eyes. So those are appendages. So the head capsule, which is highly sclerotized, and we want to remove those appendages, then we want to call as a cranium. Then we want to call as cranium. So in case of these head, segments, 6 segments is there. So again divided into 2 types of those, procephalon, gnathocephalon. Procephalon, gnathocephalon. Cephalon means head regions only, mouth regions. So procephalon, gnathocephalon. So pro means first 3 segments we want to call as procephalon. Next 3 segments we want to call as gnathocephalon. First 3 procephalon, next 3 segments gnathocephalon. Gnatho means biting. You can see here. So there are 6 segments is there. Those are procephalon, it includes 3 segments, and gnathocephalon 3 segments is there. So first procephalon, so it includes pre-antennary segment, antennary segment, and intercalary segment. So first 3 segments, so 6 segments is there. First segment pre-antennary, so means there is no appendage. So there is no appendage. Next antennary segment. Antennary means antenna is there. So from those socket antenna it will come, antenna will come. So next intercalary segment. Intercalary means there is no. So procephalon, next cephalon. Gnatho means biting, means mandibles. So fourth segment, mandibular segment. Mandibles appendages. Next first maxillary segment. First maxillary segment. So fifth segment is first maxillary segment. So there maxilla will come, maxilla. So those types of different types of parts is there. We will discuss later. So next, second maxillary segment or labial segmentum. So sixth segment is second maxillary segment or labial segment. So from there, labium it will come. Labium, not labrum. So labium is different. Lower lip. You can imagine our mouth parts. Upper lip is there. Lower lip is there. Upper lip we want to call as a labrum. Lower lip we want to call as a labium. So from these segment of insect head, second maxillary or labial segment. So from here, labium it will grow. So these are the different types of segments in insect. The total number of segments is 6. You can remember this point. So very important point. 6 segments in case of head region. In case of head region. So next, types of head. Different types of insect head is there. So those are hypognathous, prognathous, opistognathous. So hypognathous, prognathous, opistognathous. So in case of ICR examinations, this topic is very important. So definitely they will ask one bit. So definitely they will ask one bit. So hypognathous. So hypognathous type of head is there. So prognathous type of head is there. Opistognathous type of head is there. So first hypognathous. What is meant by hypognathous? Hypo means below. Hypo means below. Gnathous means jasam. So gnathous means jaws. Hypo means below. You can see these are the mouth parts. So below the mouth parts is there. Okay. So this is the head region. So this is the head region. This is the body region. So you can see here head. So it is a vertical in position. Vertical. It is straight line. And body is horizontal. 70 degrees is there. Right angles to the body. So head, it is right angles to the body. So this is horizontal body and head is vertical in position. So that's why it is a right angles to the body. You can remember this point also. Right angles means 90 degrees. 90 degrees. So body is horizontal and head is vertical in position. So that's why we want to call it right angles, long axis of the body. And more parts you can see here. Parallel to the legs. Most parts which are parallel to the legs, but head which is horizontal, which is right angles to the long axis of the body. So head means right angles, but mouth parts don't confuse with this terminology. So sometimes they will ask mouth parts with legs, mouth parts with legs, which are only parallel to each other. So parallel means there is no right angle. But in case of head, so which is the right angles to the body. So which is the right angles to the body. So best examples, cockroaches. Best examples, cockroaches and grasshoppers. So you can see here. So we can also call as orthopteroid, orthopteroid type. So it means it comes under orthopterans only. And it is the long axis of the head. So the vertical head is vertical and it is right angles to the long axis of the body. So body means head, body it is the right angle, but mouth parts and legs which are parallel. Mouth parts and legs are parallel. Don't confuse with these two terminologies. And it is also primitive type of insect head. So sometimes they will ask like this. So which of the insect head is a primitive type? So only hypognathous. Hypognathous type is primitive type. Hypognathous type of insect head is primitive type of insect head. So this is the type of head in which mouth parts are in continuous series with the legs. So sometimes they will ask this point also. So type of head, so in which mouth parts are in continuous series with the legs. Okay. The next one, prognathous. Prognathous. So pro means in front. Pro means in front. Gnathous means jaws only. So front parts, so in front, gnathous. So jaws means mouth parts, in front is there. So here, head remains in the same axis to the body. So you can see here. So head, so which is remains in same horizontal only. So there is no right angle. So if it is downwards, then right angle is there. So here, so there is no right angle. So it is continuous series. So head continuous series with the body. But mouth parts, you can see mouth parts. So mouth parts front side is there. Legs are downside is there. So mouth parts and leg sides. So these are right angles to each other. So don't confuse with this terminology. So head is, so it is a continuous series with the body, head. But mouth parts, so which are right angles to the legs. So reverse, hypognathus is different, prognathus is different. So just you can remember one type of head, hypognathus. And second, quite opposite to prognathus. So sometimes they will ask like this. So mouth parts which are right angles to the legs. So which type of head we will found in? Mouth parts are right angles to the legs. So don't confuse. So here you can see mouth parts are straight line, but legs are down. So head which is a continuous series. Example, coleopterans, beetles, coleopterans, beetles. You can see here. So it is, we can also call as coleopterite type because beetles, in case of beetles, we can find it is the long axis of head, which is horizontal. Head is horizontal to the body, but mouth parts and mouth parts and legs are right angles to each other. Okay, ground beetles best examples. See, this is the type of head in which mouth part projected forward as okay. Next one, opistognathus. Next one, opistognathus. So in the bucks, so in case of bucks, so they ask which bucks, which type of mouth, which type of head is there. So in case of bucks, which type of head is there. So they will ask very direct bits only. So opistognathus means bucks. So you can remember this point. So opisto means behind. So gnathus means jaw. So behind mouth part is there. So you can see here. So this is the mouth part. So in between the legs. So mouth parts are in between the legs. So in front of the legs, mouth parts is there. So bucks. So in case of bucks, piercing and sucking type of mouth parts is there. So in case of bucks, this it look like prognathus, but mouth parts are directed backwards. So mouth parts are directed backwards. So you can see directed backwards and held in between the forelegs. So in between the forelegs. So we can also call as hemipteroids or orthopteroids. So you can see here, these are the bucks. So you can also call as hemipteroid type or opisthoryncus. So head is deflexed. So here head is deflexed and mouth parts are directed backwards and held in between the forelegs. You can remember this point. So stink bugs, examples bugs, the type of head in which mouth parts are directed backwards in between the front legs. So this is the concept of different types of head. So very simple concept. So definitely they will ask one bit. So next, sclerites and sutures of insect head. Sclerites and sutures of insect head. So what is meant by sclerite? What is meant by suture? What is meant by sulfur? So you can remember the definition. Sclerite means hard-like structures, hard plates. Sclerites, hard plates. Suture means at the joining of, means it can join two sclerites. So it can join two sclerites. So sclerites is different, suture is different. Suture means, so we can stitch some cloth. So that needle is suture only. So sclerites means hard-like structures, hard-like structures. Suture means So we can join those two sclerites with the help of sutures only. So can imagine the broken mirror. So broken mirror broken means stitching. How we will do those stitchings? So with the help of needle, we can the cloth. So stitching means that is the suture only. So sclerites means hard-like structures. Sutures means joining of two sclerites. We want to call as sutures. So you can see these matters. So the head capsule, so which is formed by the union of number of sclerites or cuticular plates or areas which are joined together by means of cuticular lines or ridges. That is called a suture. So joining of two sclerites, we want to call it suture. Don't confuse with this terminology. From the body region or tagma, which is divided into various regions of tagma or lines or grooves, so that is called as sutures. And sclerite is different. Okay, sclerite means hardened integumentary plate, which is surrounded by membranous areas or sutures. So next, sulcus means it can give some support. So it can give strength against the strain imposed on the head capsule. So it can give some support to the sclerites. The sulcus is different, suture is different, sclerite is different. So you can see these pictures. So this is a diagrammatic representation of insect head. So you can see here, so there are different types of sclerites is there. So you can see here, L means labrum. So labrum means upper lip. Labrum means upper lip. So you can imagine our lips, our mouth parts. Upper lip is there, lower lip is there. So you can see here, L means labrum. So this is the upper lip. So this is the upper lip. Next followed by clypeus is there. C means clypeus. Next followed by clypeus is there. So in between these clypeus and labrum, one suture is there. So this is one sclerite and this is another sclerite. So two sclerites, it can join the suture. So suture means it can join the two sclerites. So this is the suture and this is the sclerite and this is the sclerite. So like that only prawns, the facial part of prawns. Prawns, it is the facial part of the insect head. You can see here. So major it will cover prawns only. So that's why it is the facial part. The facial part of insect head. So next vertex is there. You can see in between components. So vertex is there. And epicranium, different types of sclerites. So we will so different types of sclerites. Those are labrum. It is also sclerite, clypeus, prawns, vertex, epicranium, occiput, post-occiput, genus, ocular sclerites, and antennal sclerites. So different types of sclerites is there. So sclerite means nothing but hard plates, hard plates. So first we will discuss about labrum. So labrum we already discussed here. Labrum means upper lip of the cavity. So it is freely attached to the clypeus. You can see here, it is attached to the clypeus only. So clypeus means again divided into two types of anticlypeus and postclypeus. So anterior means anticlypeus. So posterior means postclypeus. So next, prawns means facial part, facial prawn, facial area. Vertex means it is the top portion. In case of insect head, the top portion is so in between the compound item. So in between the compound is vertex is there. Okay, you can see here. So labrum, it is the small sclerite. It forms the upper lip of the mouth cavity, labrum. So lower lip means labium is there, and which is freely attached or suspended from the lower margin of the face. So lower margin only, not upper margin. So next, clypeus. So it again divides into two types. Those are anticlypeus and postclypeus. Anticlypeus and postclypeus. And this is the cranial, means in case of head. Okay. So clypeus. So in case it is present in between the below the prawns and above the labrum. It is present in between the prawn and labrum. Prawns and labrum. Next, prawns. So it is the facial area, so which is present below the vertex and above the clypeus. Just you can remember this diagram. So frons above the clypeus and below the vertex one. So in case of these ocellus, which is a present median ocellus. Ocellus means visual median ocellus, visual part. Next vertex, which is the top portion of the head, which is behind the frons. So just you can remember those diagrams. Definitely you can remember this point. And which is present in between the compound eyes. In between the compound eyes. So next epicranium. Epicranium means it is the upper part of the head. So which is upper part of the head. So epicranium. So it is the upper part of the head. So we can extending from the vertex to the occipital suture. The vertex to the occipital suture. So occiput is there, post-occiput is there. So occipital suture which is present in between epicranium and post-occipitum. The epicranium is different, occiput is different, post-occiput is different. So I will show one diagram that definitely you can remember those points. So epicranium. So you can see these pictures. So this is the vertex. So P means vertex. So this is the occiput. So occiput means occiput. This is the post-occiput. So you can see here. So this is region we want to call as epicranium. This region we want to call as epicranium. So which is the present in between. So which is extending from the vertex to the occipital suture up to here. So this is the occipital suture. So this region we want to call as epicranium, which is extending from vertex to the occipital. Okay, you can see here. So epicranium, it is a present in between. Epicranium, it is present in between vertex to the occipital suture. So this is occipital suture, and this is the occiput. So occiput, it is a present in between occipital suture and post-occipital suture. So this is the post-occiput. So PO means post-occiput. The post-occiput, it is the last occipitum. So that's what we want to call as real suture. Real suture. So that is the future. First we will discuss about sclerites only. The epicranium, it is the upper part of the head extending from the vertex to the occipital suture. Occiput means it is an inverted U shape. So already shown diagram, inverted U shape, not V shape. Inverted U shape. So sometimes they will ask like this. So in case of invert, which one of the following is inverted U-shaped structures? So that represents the area between epicranium and post-occiput. So that is the occiput. So post-occiput means it is the extremely posterior part of the insect head. So only posterior part of the insect head. So next, gena. Gena is there. It is extending from the below the compound eyes and to just above the mandibles. So you can see here the gena. So below the compound eyes and just above the mandibles. M means mandibles. Above the mandibles, below the compound eyes. Okay. So next, ocular means visible compound eyes. So from these sclerites, compound eyes will develop. So antennal sclerites is there. So antennal means where antenna it will develop, antennal sclerites. So this is the basis for the antennae, which is present around the scape, which is well developed in Plecopterans. So Plecopterans means stone flies. So stone flies comes under order Plecoptera only. So best example is antennal sclerites. So let's move on sutures. Sutures means the different types of sutures is there. So those are clipiolabral sutures, clipiofrontal suture, epicranial suture, occipital suture, postoccipital suture, genal suture, subgenal suture, ocular suture, antennal suture, subocular suture. So these are different types of sutures. So suture means joining of two sclerites. Joining of two sclerites. You can see these pictures. So here labrum is there, upper lip labrum is there, and see, you can see here labrum is there and clypeus is there. See, C means clypeus. So at the joining of labrum and clypeus, so clipiolabral suture is there. So you can join these two names, clipiolabral. So suture. So you can join these two sclerites. So that's why we want to call it clipiolabral suture. Clipiolabral suture. So like that only, ocular suture. So ocular suture means it can join the ocular as well as epicranium. So like that only post-occipital suture. Occiput and post-occipital. Post-occipital suture is there. So it means it can join two sclerites. So that's why we want to call it sutures. So you can see here clipiolabral suture. It is present in between clypeus and labrum. So which is present in between clypeus and labrum. Okay. So next, clipiofrontal suture. So we can also call as epistomal suture. So it's a very, very, very important bit. So clipiofrontal we can also call as epistomal suture. Don't confuse. So some members they will remember like this epicranial suture we can also call as epistomal. So that is the wrong. Don't confuse. Clipiofrontal suture we can call as epistomal suture. It is present in between clypeus and frontal. So that's why I want to call it clypeus is there, frontal region is there. So joining of these two sclerites we want to call as suture. So two parts is there. So that's why clipiofrontal suture. So epistomal suture. So these epistomal suture, which is absent in cockroaches, Berta orientalis. In case of cockroach, which is absent, epistomal suture, so which is absent in cockroaches. Next, third one, epicranial. Epicranial. So it is the inverted Y-shaped suture. Inverted Y-shaped. So an inverted Y-shaped is there. So you can see here. So these are the main part and these are the stems, so lateral parts. So inverted Y-shaped structure, so which is distributed above the facial regions. So it consists of two arms. So you can see these are the two arms. So these are the two arms. We want to call it frontal sutures. Two arms, frontal sutures. And the main stem cell you can call it coronal suture, not coronavirus. Corona suturum, coronal sutures. The stems are called as coronal sutures and the frontal sutures. So in case of ICR examinations, they will ask this type of bit only. So because in 2020 entire corona is there, so it's look like coronal sutures. So they will ask this type of bit also. Stem we want to call as the coronal sutures. Okay, so these epicranial suture, so we can also call as a line of weakness or ecdysial suture. So line of weakness or ecdysial suture. So why you want to call as ecdysial suture or line of weakness? Because sexual membrane in case of molding process, apolysis, ecdysis. So here it can split sexual membrane, it can split along this suture only. So that's why we want to call as a line of weakness or ecdysial suture. So why you want to call as line of weakness or ecdysial suture? But in case of molding process, so axial membrane it can split them. So in this region only, epicranial suture only. Epicranial suture. Next, occipital suture. Occipital suture. So occiput means inverted U shape. Occipital suture is It is the U shape, not inverted U shape. Don't confuse with the inverted U shape. So occiput is inverted U shape. Occipital suture is normal U shape. But epicranial suture is inverted Y shape. Inverted Y shape. Okay. So next, post-occipital suture. It is the last suture. So that's why we want to call as only real suture. So why we want to call as only real suture? So because this suture, it can separate the head from neck. So neck, it can separate from the neck region. So that's why we want to call as only real suture, because it can separate from neck regions. The posterior end of the head, which is marked by the post-occipital suture. Next, genal suture is there. So it can join the genus. Ocular suture is there. It can present around the compound eye. Antennal suture is there. It can present around the antennal socket. So these are some important terminologies. Next, what is meant by occipital foramen? What is meant by occipital foramen and what is meant by cephalic appendages? Occipital foramen means, so in case of posterior opening of the cranium, so means to post-occipital suture or post-occipital. So through which aorta, so in case of circulatory system, anterior region, posterior region ceremony. So like that only in case of digestive system, foregut, and then nervous system, ventral nerve cord, so which can open through these cranium only. And neck muscles which can pass, we want to call as occipital foramen. Posterior opening of the cranium through which aorta, so circulatory system, digestive system and nervous system. So the part of a circulatory system, that is aorta, the foregut part. So in case of digestive system, like that only in case of nervous system, ventral nerve cord, so which can open into these cranium. So that's why we want to call as occipital foramen. Cephalic in the sense head only, cephalic appendages. It consists of compound eyes, simple ocelli. Compound eyes, two types of eyes is there, compound eyes and simple eyes. So simple eyes, ocelli, and pair of antenna mouthparts. So these are the cephalic appendages. So that's all about insect head. Insect head. So let's move on. Another topic, tentorium. So it will also come under insect head only. Tentorium. So tentorium means endoskeleton of head. So inside, which is not outside, which is present inside, endoskeleton, not exoskeleton. Exoskeleton means body wall. Endoskeleton means which is related to head only. So which is formed by the invaginations of the body wall. So in case of a cuticular appendages and cuticular process, so outgrowth and invaginations is there. So in case of invaginations, apodemes, apophysis is there. Apodeme means solid-like structure. Okay, apodeme. So like that only invaginations of the body wall. So it can form the tentorium. So it can form the tentorium. So it consists of 4 parts. Tentorium consists of 4 parts. Those are anterior arm, posterior arm, carpotentorium, and 4th one dorsal arms. Anterior arm, posterior arm, carpotentorium, dorsal arms. So anterior arms, so which are the arise from the epistomal suture. So anterior arms which arise from the epistomal suture. So I already told that epistomal we can also call as clipiofrontal suture. Epistomal we can also call as clipiofrontal suture. So from these suture anterior arms formed and invaginations into form anterior arms. So with the help of epistomal or clipiofrontal suture, anterior arms are formed. So like that only posterior arms with the help of post-occipital suture. So with the help of post-occipital suture, so the post-tentorial pits, which arise bilaterally from the post-occipital suture, and it can form the posterior arm. So both anterior and posterior arms, which can form the carpotentorium. Both anterior as well as posterior arms, so it can form the carpotentorium. Next, dorsal arms. Anterior arms extended into the dorsal arms only, which are the secondary outgrowths of the anterior arms. Dorsal arms means secondary growth of anterior arms. So that's all about tentorium. So let's move on another region or another tagmata. So that is the thorax. So thorax means it is the second tagma. So So second part of the insect body. The first part means head. Second part means thorax or middle tagma. So middle means thorax only or middle region, which is namely called as again thorax divided into three parts. Those are prothorax, mesothorax, metathorax. Prothorax, mesothorax, metathorax. So these meso and metathorax together we want to call as a pterothorax. So meso and meta we want to call as pterothorax. Actually insect thorax which is divided into two parts only. So those are prothorax and pterothorax. So pterothorax again divided into two parts. Those are mesothorax and metathorax. So prothorax and pterothorax, only two types. Second pterothorax again divided into two types. Those are mesothorax and metathorax. Okay, so you can see these terminology. So simple terminology. Tergum or nota. What is meant by tergum and what is meant by nota? Dorsal body or upper part. So that's why we want to call as a nota. So you can see here. So these regions, so we want to call as tergum or notum. So lateral pleura in this, lateral pleura. And ventral, these regions, downside ventral regions, we want to call as sternum. So ventral body plate we want to call as sternum. Dorsal tergum, nothing but notum. So nota is same, tergum is different, same only. Lateral means pleura. So you can see here. So thorax, prothorax, mesothorax, metathorax. Pro, meso, meta. So actually two types of segments is there, prothorax and pterothorax. Ptero again divided into two types based on wings. So because wings are present, so in these pterothorax only. So meso and meta. But legs are present in pro, meso, meta. But spiracles and wings which are present in meso and metathorax only. So only pterothorax contains spiracles as well as wings. So you can see here, so thorax which is divided into so three parts, again thorax, so prothorax, mesothorax, meta. So in anterior part we want to call as a notum or terga. So lateral pleuron, so ventral sternum. So tergum or notum is again consists of three parts. So those are pronotum, mesonotum, metanotum. So like that only pleuron, it consists of three parts. Okay, propleuron, mesopleuron, metapleuron. So like that only sternum, it consists of three parts. Those are prosternum, mesosternum, metasternum. So pronotum means it is present in prothorax. Mesonotum means which is present in mesothorax. So metanotum means which is present in metathorax. So that's why we want to call it a metanotum. So notum is common only, but pro, meso, meta, which is present in meso, we want to call as metum. So like that only pleuron. So pleuron, if it is present in prothorax, we want to call as a propleuron. If it is present in mesothorax, we want to call as mesopleuron. If it is present in metathorax, we want to call as metapleuron. So like that only prosternum, prothorax, mesosternum, mesothorax, metasternum, metathorax. So don't confuse with this terminology. So you can see this matter. We already discussed this matter. The dorsal body plate of each thoracic segment, which are called as pronotum, mesonotum, metanotum. So pronotum means in case of grasshoppers it is a saddle shape, but in case of cockroach it is a shield shape. Only pronotum only. So mesonotum, metanotum they cannot modify. Only pronotum it can modify into saddle shape in grasshoppers. So in case of cockroach, shield shape. So in case of MSc, level, so they will ask this type of bit only. So in case of MSc courses, so they will show some specimens to you also. So you want to dissect. So this is saddle shape in case of grasshoppers, shield in case of cockroaches. Okay. Next, pterothorax. Pterothorax. So pterothorax means meso and meta. So meso and meta together called as pterothorax. So it consists of three sutures. Those are anticostal sutures, prescutal sutures. Sutures, it means it can join two sclerites, scutoscutellar sutures. So like that only 5 tergites is there. So those are acrotergite, prescutum, scutum, scutellum, postscutellum. So in case of ICR examinations, they will ask very simple bit only. Prescutum belongs to which part? So notum parta, tergum parta, sternum, pleurum porta, so they will ask like that only. Sacrotarget, pre-scutum, scutum, scutellum, and post-scutellum. It will come under nota only. So next, thoracic sternum. Sternum, not pleurum. Sternum means ventral part, you can see here. So this is the ventral part. So this is the ventral part of sternum. So ventral body plate of each thoracic segment. So we want to call as a prosternum is there, mesosternum is there, metasternum is there. Pro, meso, meta. If it is in prothorax, prosternum, meso in mesosternum, metathorax in metasternum. So these thoracic sterna, so which is made up of segmental plates, we want to call as eusternum. You can remember this one. Eusternum and spinosternum. Eusternum and spinosternum. So again, eusternum is made up of three sclerites. Those are presternum, basisternum, sternum. So presternum, basisternum, and sternum. Eusternum, spinosternum, it will come under sternum only. So next, thoracic pleura, lateral body, lateral growth. Lateral growth. So it is present in between tergum and sternum, not among sternum. It is present in between these two regions only. So in case of here, pleural plate is there, so which is divided into anterior episternum and posterior epimuron by the pleural suture. So generally don't confuse. So this is the sternum. So if you don't confuse them, so this is the sternum, but it will come under pleural regions only. So eusternum, spinosternum, it will come under sternum regions. But anterior episternum and posterior epimuron, it will come under pleural regions only. So don't confuse it. So you can remember this point. Otherwise you will confuse them. So anterior episternum and posterior epimuron, it will come under pleural regions only. Pleural regions. Not with it will not come under sternal regions. Eusternum, spinosternum, it will come under sternal region. But anterior episternum and posterior epimuron, it will come under thoracic pleural regions. So definitely they will ask this type of bit only, because it is a little bit tricky. So that's why they will ask this type of bits only. So in case of pleural regions, so thoracic appendages, it includes 3 pairs of legs and 2 pairs of wings, 2 pairs of spiracles, which is also present in mesopleural and metapleural regions only. So leg, it will come under pleural regions only, means lateral only. It will not come from dorsal and ventral side. It will come from lateral side only. So that's why mesopleural, it contains wings, spiracles, and legs on 3 pairs of legs. So that's all about the thorax region for tagma. Next, last one, abdomen region. Abdomen region or abdomen tagma or abdomen part or posterior part of the insect body. It is the posterior part of the insect body, and this is the third one. So first one head, second one thorax, the third one abdomen only, and it is the posterior tagma also. So we can also call it posterior tagma. So in case of pregenital appendages, which are absent in pterygotes. So pterygota is means wingless. Pterygota means winged insects. Pterygota. In case of pregenital appendages, which is absent in pterygotes but present in pterygotes. So 4 orders is there. 4 orders: Protura, Dipleura, Columbola, Thysanura. It will come under pterygotes only. So pterygotes means remaining orders. Remaining 25 orders, it will come under pterygotes only. So again, pterygotes divided into exopterygota, endopterygota. So that is a different concept we will discuss under taxonomy part. So actually, which is made up of 7 to 11 segments. So segments we can also call as uromers. Segments we can also call as uromers. So the abdominal segments, which are telescopic in nature, and which are interconnected by the membrane, we want to call as the conjunctiva. So we want to call as conjunctiva. Intersegmental regions, so means 7 to 11 segments is there. So 7 to 11 segments. So 1 and 2, it will join with the help of this conjunctiva. So interconnected by the membrane, we want to call as conjunctiva. So joining of abdominal segments, we want to call as conjunctiva. From the last segment, so it means in the sense last segment, 11th abdominal segment, we want to call as a talus or tail. in case of Koturans, Atergoch. Subabdominal segment which raised from 1 to 7 we want to call as a pregenital. So 1 to 7 we want to call as pregenitals. So because the genital segments which are present in 8th and 9th abdominal segments, 8th. So before that genital segments we want to call as pregenital. So after genital segments we want to call as a postgenital. Actually abdominal segments means 1 to 11 abdominal segments is there, 1 to 11. 1 to 7 means pregenital. So 8 and 9 are genital. So remaining 10 and 11 are postgenital segments. So because based on these genital organs, so this classification is there: pregenital, genital, postgenital. So in case of 8th and 9th, genital segments is there. So in case of male, so in case of males, so in case of males, the external sexual organs are genitalia of male grasshoppers, so which is present in 9th abdominal sternites. So means the downside, ventral side, sternites. So 9th abdominal segment in case of males, but in case of females, 8th and 9th sternitum. So in case of female genital organs, which are present on 8th and 9th abdominal segments. So that is also located on ventral side, means the sternal regions. But in case of males, which is present in 9th sternitum. So we can also call as ADAGUS. ADAGUS, the main intromittent organ we want to call as ADAGUS. Lateral clasping organ we want to call as paramersum. So main intromittent organ, only one is there, that is called as ADAGUS, and remaining two paramersum. So two lateral clasping organs, that is called as paramersum. So like that only in case of females, oviposters means egg laying capacity, egg laying fecundity is there, egg laying capacity of females we want to call as fecundity. So a oviposter is there. So this oviposter which is present in 8th and 9th abdominal segment. 8th and 9th abdominal segments. So these oviposters it consists of two pairs of basal sclerites. Those are valvipairs. So those are valvipairs. And three pairs of valvulae. Two pairs of valvipairs, three pairs of valvulae, which is present in 8th and 9th abdominal segment. So in case of 10th, so 10th means supraanal plate. 10th abdominal segment we want to call it supraanal plate. So next 11th abdominal segment. So it is a triangular dorsal plate of 11th segmentum. 11th abdominal segment we want to call as epiproct. So epiproct only one is the triangular part, the dorsal part. So lateral two plates we want to call as a paraproct. So in between these two epiproct, in between the epiproct and paraproct, sarsa is there, annual sarsa. So 11th abdominal segments we want to call as epiproct. It consists of lateral paraproct and anal sarsa. But 10th means supraanal plate. So 1 to 7 pregenital. So 8 and 9 are genital segments. 10th is supraanal plate. 11th is anal sarsa and epiproct is there, epiproct, paraproct. So in case of grasshopper, short horned grasshoppers, so tympanum it is present in first abdominal segment. First abdominal segments. And 8 pairs of spiracles which are present in first 8 abdominal segments only. So in addition to this, tympanum which is present in first abdominal segments only. Tympanum means visual or hearing organ. Sound produce. So and 8th and 9th abdominal segments, which consists of female genital structures. Those are oviposters, valvipairs, valvulae. We already discussed this point. So oviposter, which is present in 8th and 9th, only sternite, ventral side only. So it consists of 2 pairs of valvipairs and 3 pairs of valvulae. So 2 pairs of valvipairs and 3 pairs of valvulae. One, it can guide the egg guiding. Egg laying it will be helpful. In case of median valvulae, which is small and concealed by the other valvulae, so it can act as egg guide. So 3 pairs of valvulae is there. First pair of valvulae, second pair of valvulae, third pair of valvulae. So in case of those median valvulae, it can act as egg guide. So 9th segment in case of females, in case of males, so 9th abdominal segment, median intromittent organ we want to call as ADAGUS, and lateral organs we want to call as paramersum. Okay. So in case of pleuron, so which is absent in the abdomen. Abdomen, so there is a no pleuron sound, so lateral organ. Pleura, it is absent in abdomen. So the enlarged antecosta, which is called as fragmata or the attachment of flight muscles only. So these prothorax, mesometaphorax is there. So in case of prothorax, so fragmata absent. Fragmata is absent in prothorax only. So in case of lepidopterans, so these prothorax fragmata is absent. So there is pathagia is there. The pair of lobe-like projection, which is present in prothorax of Lepidoptera, we want to call as pathagia. Actually, prothorax lacks fragmata, but in case of Lepidopterans, so pathagia is present. Pathagia is present. Next, abdominal appendages. Abdominal appendages. So in case of columbolum, actually 7 to 11 pairs of abdominal segments is there in case of insects. But in case of columbola, springtails and snowflakes, only 6 abdominal segments is there. So this is the exceptional order. Exceptional order. Only 6 abdominal segments is there. But in case of remaining insects, 7 to 11 abdominal segments is there. So these abdominal appendages means external outgrowths, which is visible to our eyes. So those are pregenital abdominal appendages in case of wingless insects, means atergotes. Like that only abdominal appendages in case of immature insects, immature. So like that only abdominal appendages in winged adults. 3 types is there. So those are pregenital abdominal appendages in wingless insects, abdominal appendages in immature insects, abdominal appendages in winged insects. First we will discuss about pregenital appendages in wingless insects, means astergotes. So you can see here, so this is the silverfish. So these abdominal segments, it consists of stylium. So these abdominal segments consist of styli. So styli, which is present in silverfish. So varying number of hairy tube-like outgrowth, which is found on the ventral side of the abdomen of silverfish only. Which is present on ventral side of the abdomen of silverfish only. So that is the stylium. So next, columbola, atergote insect only. So wingless. So collophore, retinaculum, furculum. So for collophore, we can also call as a ventral to blue plaque. Retinaculum we can also call as retinaculum or catch. Next, furcula, furcum. So furcula we can also call as furca. So here in case of these columbolas, only 6 abdominal segments is there. 6 abdominal segments. So in those 6 abdominal segments, first abdominal segments, so it can modified as a collophore. So collophore, it is present on first abdominal segment only. The first abdominal segment, collophore or ventral to blue plague. Next, in case of third abdominal segment, retinaculum is there. Retinaculum or tenaculum. So like that only in case of fourth abdominal segment, furcula or furca is there. Furcula, furca is there. So collophore means which is present on first abdominal segment of the springtail, so which is the cylindrical in shape. It can act as hydrostatic pressure of the hemolymph. It mainly serves for the adhesion. Adhesion means binding or sticking. So next, retinaculum or tenaculum or catch, we can also call it the catch, which is present on third abdominal segment. So it can hold the springing organ. So it can hold the springing organ. Next, furcula, furca. It is an Y-shaped organ. It is a Y-shaped organ. You can see here. So this is a Y-shaped organ, which is present on fourth abdominal segment. Which is present on fourth abdominal segment. Next one, abdominal appendages in immature insects. Abdominal appendages in immature insects. So in case of tracheal gills is there, anal papillae is there, dolichostris is there, prolex is there. Immature insects. So tracheal gills, which is present in nymphs. So anal papillae, like that only, which is present in mosquito larva, so which is the immature stage only. So like that only grubs of antlines. So dolichostris. So like that only prolex. So in case of abdominal segments, so prolex immature stage like grasshopper, like caterpillars. So in the larva of moths, butterflies or sawflies. Larva, moths, butterflies and sawflies. So caudal means which is present in damsel flies. So in case of ICR examinations, they will ask this type of bit only. So tracheal gills means in case of water, the nymphs which are present in the water. So with the help of these gills, respiration will occur. So with the help of these gills only. So these gills are lateral outgrowths of the body wall, so which are richly supplied with the trachea. So to obtain the oxygen from the water. So means it can act as a respiratory system. It can act as a respiration. It will useful for respiration purpose only. So in case of caudal gills which is present in damselflies, dragonflies in case of dragonflies, rectal gills is there. So like that only in case of mosquito larvae, anal papillae is there, anal papillae. So papilla which is present in mosquito larva only. So like that only Dolichosters. So in case of antline grubs, Dolichosters is there. And next one, prolix. So prolix means in case of caterpillars. So in case of caterpillars, prolix is there. So there are unsegmented only, so which are 2 to 5 pairs. So 2 to 5 pairs present, 2 to 5 pairs. So in case of semilopus, which is different, in case of lopus, which is different. So these are unsegmented only. So the tip of the prolix we want to call as a planta. So the tip of prolix we want to call as planta. And it is a sclerotized hooks we want to call as a crotches. So tip means planta. So these planta contain crotches we want to call as, these planta contain hooks we want to call as crotches. So which are useful in crawling and clinging to the surface. But in case of mustard sawfly, so 6 to 8 pairs of abdominal legs is there. So abdominal legs. So in case of mustard sawfly, 6 to 8. But in case of remaining insects, 2 to 5. But in case of mustard sawfly, 6 to 8 pairs of abdominal legs is there. Next, finally, last one, abdominal appendages in winged adults. Abdominal appendages in winged adults. So in case of aphids, cornicles is there. In case of aphids, cornicles which are present in 5th and 6th abdominal segments. Cornicles, so alarum pheromone. Cornicles, alarum pheromone is also there. So cornicles we can also call as sphinculi. Sphinculi we can also call as sphinculi. Next, caudal breathing tubes. So just you can remember the common names. So cornicles means which is present in aphids. Caudal breathing tubes which is present in water scorpions. Caudal breathing tube, which is present in water scorpions. So with the help of 2 grooved filaments which is closely applied to each other. So 2 grooved filaments is there. You can see here, this is the caudal breathing tube. This is the caudal breathing tube. So next, median caudal filament. So median caudal filament. So in case of mayflies, means day flies or short day flies or mayflies, whatever it may be, the same. Subimago is also there. So in case of these median caudal filament, so epiproctibus is elongated into the surface. So surface like median caudal filament, you can see here. So median caudal filament. So like that only pygostyles in case of scolid webs. So pygostyles. So S means scolid webs. You can remember like that. So pygostyles, scolid webs. Next, so surface. So surface means which are present in between the epiprocta and paraprocta. Surface are present in between epiprocta and paraprocta. So in case of ICR examinations, so these 2 points, these 4 points are very, very important. So surface which is a long and many segmented. Long and many segmented in case of mayfly. Ephemeropterans. So sometimes they will ask mayfly, sometimes they will mention Ephemeroptera. So don't confuse with the order. Mayflies, Ephemeropterans. So long and many segmented. But in case of crickets, so long and unsegmented surface. Surface long only, but it is unsegmented. But in case of mayfly, segmented surface. It's a very, very important point. So in case of cockroaches, surface is short and many segmented. Surface is short and many segmented. So like that only in case of grasshoppers, so surface is short and unsegmented surface. So don't confuse with this terminology. So don't confuse examples also. So long and unsegmented which is present in crickets. So long and many segmented which is present in mayflies. So like that only you can see here crickets and cockroaches, crickets and grasshoppers. Crickets and grasshoppers unsegmented. Crickets and grasshoppers unsegmented because they will come under Orthoptera, Acrididae and Tetragonidae, short-armed grasshopper, long-armed grasshopper. So both, so in case of one grasshopper, Acrididae and in case of Acrididae, short and unsegmented surface. But if in case of crickets, Tenupalpidae, long and unsegmented surface. Tenupalpidae, long and unsegmented surface. So like that will mayfly, so long and many segmented, cockroaches, short and many segmented. Okay, so next, dermapterans in case of earwigs. So these sclerotized surface, which can act as a forceps. We can see here it looks like forceps. So which is useful in defense purpose. Which is useful in defense purpose. So defense purpose, prey captures, unfolding of the wings or courtship. So like that only asymmetrical surface. Surface asymmetrical in male embiopterans. Order embiopterans. So in case of these embiopterans, asymmetrical means there is no symmetrical. So one is long, another is short. Next, anal styly. So anal stylum. Styly it is present in silverfish. Anal styly it is present in cockroach only. So anal styly, which is present in cockroaches only. Anal styly. So in case of male cockroaches, which is present anal styly. So in case of female cockroach, it is absent. Anal styly it is present in male cockroach only. So next, ovipositor. So with the help of these ovipositor, insects will lay eggs. Egg. So this is the ovipositor. So this is the egg-laying organ, so which is found in the female insect only. So males there is no ovipositor, which is present in female insects only. So it is suited to lay eggs in the precise microhabitats. So there are different types of ovipositor is there. Short and horny ovipositor, which is present in short-armed grasshopper. Short means short-armed. So long means long-armed. Okay, don't confuse it. So an ovipositor is horny, short and horny. Long and sword, which is present in long-armed grasshoppers. So like that only needle-like in case of crickets. So you can see here. So this is the ovipositor. It is a needle-like. So it looks like a needle. So that is it is present in cricket. Okay. Next, ovipositor, which is modified into the sting. Ovipositor, which is modified into sting, which is present in honeybees. So sting-like structures, which is present in honeybees only. Next, pseudo-ovipositors. Pseudo-ovipositors. So pseudo means it is present in houseflies only. So actually, 7 to 11 pairs of 7 to 11 abdominal segments is there. But in case of these houseflies, only 6 abdominal segments is visible. The remaining abdominal segments is also there, but it is concealed, telescopic. So in case of housefly, the terminal abdominal segments which are telescopic, these telescopic segments which are aid in the oviposition. So that's why we want to call as pseudo-ovipositor. So these pseudo-ovipositor we will also call as ovitubes or oviscaps. Ovitubes we can also call as ovitubes. Next, final male genitalia. Male genitalia. So you can see these pictures. So in case of these damselflies, the male genital organs which is present in second abdominal segment. Second abdominal segment. So there is the male genital. Actually, male genital organs which are present in ninth abdominal segments in case of males, but except these damselflies. So except these damselflies. So here, second abdominal segment contains the copulatory organ. Okay. Next, the final concept. So that is the anamorphic development and epimorphic development and allometric growth, harmonic growth. So anamorphic, what is meant by anamorphic? What is meant by epimorphic? So anamorphic means in case of embryos. So in case of embryo, certain segments is there. So 8 to 10 segments is there. At the time of growth, so another segment will add. But in case of epimorphic development, so fixed segments is there. So in case of embryo, 7 to 11 abdominal segments is there. So there is no addition in case of this epimorphic development. But in case of anamorphic development, addition of segments is there. So allometric we can also call as disproportionate, harmonic or isochronic or proportionate growth. So you can see these matter. So in case of prothorans, anamorphic means in case of prothorans, first instance larva, so which can hatch with only 8 abdominal segments. So later it can add so remaining 3 segments which are added at subsequent molting. At the time of molting time, it can add remaining segments. But in case of epimorphic, so in case of pterygotes means winged insects, so fixed number of segments is there. So the embryo itself contains a fixed number of segments. So like that only, allometric or disproportionate. So it means growth in which the growth rate of one part of an organism, which is different from that part of the another part. So that's why we want to call it allometric or disproportionate. So there is no proportion. But in case of hormone, it means equal growth is there. One to one segment to another segment, equal growth is there. Okay. Okay, that's all about today's lecture. So if you have any doubt, you can ask now regarding of these body segmentation of insects. Yes, please respond. If you have any doubt, you can ask now.